Side, yes, Mickey, with less than a 16th to go. What the Hill, a short lead. Lindy the Great to the inside. Yes, Mickey, coming to the wire. It's What the Hill and David Miller winning the
pocket sitter. Turned first over attacker What the Hill. And behind them, Dover Dan from in third. International Money still got work to do. They're in deep stretch, and here comes What the Hill and Miller on the outside. What the Hill converting off the pocket trip to win the Canadian Trotting Classic. He won it by 3 going away. It's What the Hill.
Third, 3/4, 124 and 2 into the stretch. Looks like Chippendale appears to be on the verge. Crazy Wow trying to fend him off. Room at the rail for What the Hill. He's raging late. And in heavy traffic is Pinkman on the far outside. Dayson trying to close in. But off the rail comes What the Hill, the 3-year-old. What the Hill to seal his division. What the Hill. Then Dayson. And then it was Pinkman third.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talking Trotters. Tonight, back again, Tyler Dew. Hello to you, Tyler. We've got a bit to talk about New Zealand trotting too, so good to have you on. We've got David Branch going to come on very, very shortly to highlight the trot slots, and Maree Conroy about the huge raffle that is going on at the minute for the VSTA, or the Victorian Square Trotters Association. Unfortunately, I couldn't get VSTA on the Facebook pages, so you've got to make sure you look up the Victorian Square Trotters Association. Unfortunately, I can't get my phone to load up the actual show. Don't know what's going on here. Anyway, we'll just see if it'll refresh. It'll come up again. Stuart Tanner from England. Hopefully your health is well, Stuart. I know you haven't been experiencing the best, mate, so hopefully your health is well. Alexander Hurley, hello to you as well, and everyone else who joins in to talk trotters. And there is plenty to talk about. As always, this is proudly brought to you by What the Hill, standing at Woodlands Stud this season. I'm just going to make sure I get the right one. I did. I changed it all up just so I could find it easy, and then I got myself confused. But What the Hill, winner of 12 races, $1.3 million in stakes, 15.3 hand high, beautiful bay trotter, stands in Australia for $7,700 and New Zealand $7,000 plus the GST, and doing some great things, including the very, very impressive winner of Celtic Arden the other day at Addington. This was the first race. There she is behind the leader in the Dunn colours of John, Jenna and Robert. Dunn getting up the inside of a team that's going very good, actually. Tommy Baggery, one of his horses we're going to highlight in a little bit later on, but this horse has now won 3 on the bounce. This was her first start back. She does get a little bit tired towards the line and just gets there, but exciting little horse now. She's had 9 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds, and as I said, those 3 all on the bounce. And yeah, really starting to be, I'm sure they'll be getting excited. Got a lot to highlight about New Zealand as well. I'm glad there's a few people on from New Zealand, because we've got plenty to highlight. If you are watching from New Zealand and you want your New Zealand fill, Over the Ditch will be back tomorrow. It'll be out tomorrow night, possibly as a pre-record. I think 90% of the chance it'll be a pre-record. But yeah, we're just going to wait on the fields, because there's some cracking races on Friday night at Addington. But I am going to try and get, I must say a huge thank you to also to Woodlands for their continued support and continued sponsorship of Campbell's Comments. Rightio, going to get David Branch on the phone, and that appears to be working. Sometimes these technology things don't always work.
Hello.
David, how are you?
Yeah, good day.
That's the way. David Branch joins me. I wasn't sure. I was a little bit worried myself when I started that, Dave, because we are doing this one through going through what's it called, WhatsApp, and I've never actually done a phone call through the WhatsApp, so I'm actually pretty happy that it did work this way. Kyle Carey, thank you very much, mate. I appreciate that. Now I've got to change hats. I haven't run this one past Mark Hughes, but I think it's only fitting that I put the blue hat on, don't you, David?
Yeah, for sure.
This is actually a very good hat. It was against the wall. I had a bit of a panic attack. I couldn't find it, but it's actually a very, very comfortable hat. It's one thing I recommend to people: good hats, good branding. Make sure they're comfortable for people to wear as well. It's really, really good. we might as well start from the top, Dave. We've got a couple of other things I want to touch with you as well going through. But firstly, congratulations to yourself and the Cambridge Raceway. If you're on Facebook, go and hit Cambridge Raceway to follow those guys and keep up to date with everything that's going on in Cambridge. But with the announcement of a new slot race to the Australasian, we're going to say Australasian because I think it's the way to do it, calendar for next year, mate.
Yeah, for sure. I guess it's the natural evolution for us of our Night of Champions after having the race by grins and building that up over the last couple of years. We've sort of floated the idea in the past, and it's not perfect. There's some changes that I'd like to see in the coming years, but I think we've come up with a model that it will at least get it off the ground in year one, and then we can carry on building it after that.
I could go into what's not perfect. I think we won't stress too much. The bones of it. Basically, it will be no different to any other slot race. You'll have slot holders, and then they can go and negotiate to get their own horses. That can be a horse that they traditionally own, or a horse they might be able to get a horse that someone else owns and be able to race it in conjunction. That's pretty much how it'll work.
Yeah, essentially. So for this one, it's 10 slots at 50,000 each. Essentially, the 25 grand of that is guaranteed back. So that also ran money, I guess, for finishing 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. You get half of that slot fee back. So depending on what deal is done, if it's your own horse, then you don't have to do a deal, then you're going to get all of that back. But yeah, those are all the sort of nuances, I guess, that and all the fun that happens after the slots are announced.
Prize money I've seen advertised, I'm not going to hold you to it, but is $655,000.
Yeah, so that's right. So obviously the 500,000 made up from the 10 slots, and then we're really fortunate to have the Intane crew behind us in the first running, and they've tipped in a significant amount, which has allowed us to get the race off the ground and get it underway for year one, which is great.
And you need that tip in, don't you? Because effectively, if everyone just puts their money in for the slots, it doesn't leave a lot of, I suppose, money left, meat on the bone, I suppose, for the people to be able to, justify potentially missing out on some races to target your race.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And that's probably one of the things that I think we'll look to be working on in the following years, as we've had to do with the race by grins. And as you say, the key is that money that goes in over and above the slot holders, and it's the one of the nuances with a slot race and paying that also ran money back to all the way back to 10th. It does skew how much is left for first to fourth, and then you've got to remember that money has to be split with a slot holder and the owners as well. So yeah, definitely would like to, need to see that grow for the race to be sustainable, but we've got to start somewhere, and we've got the expressions of interest, so now just hoping that converts into slots, and we'll get year one underway. Yeah,
and you just have to go, well, you can actually do it off your Facebook feed. I think I did it on. So you can either go to the Facebook feed. If you are, someone that is interested in buying a slot and getting involved in this, you basically can just go to the Cambridge Raceway. I don't know if I went to the website or the Facebook. Can you do it on both, Dave?
Yeah, I think it's on both.
Yeah.
Easiest way just to do that, cambridgeraceway.co.nz, and I can fire all of the information through. So we've got a little FAQ document, and then the actual agreement is about 17 pages long with all of the details in there if anyone wants to have a read, or I'm available to jump on the phone and answer any questions as well. Yeah,
and you are always available. I will say that. Joe Pacey's actually one of the guys that's tuned in a minute. He tunes into a lot of the stuff I do, but he has actually a nice enough trotter that might be targeting it. How has the feedback been initially, Dave, when it was announced? What was your feedback like from, I suppose, potential slot holders, but also potential owners that might have horses that slot holders might be targeting?
Yeah, so we had we went out the first 2 weeks ago. Now we went out and just asked for expressions of interest, just to sort of see if we had the support there. We landed on about 12 of those, which gave us, I guess, the confidence to go ahead and say, well, providing we can sell at least 8 slots, so between 8 and 10 is what we're looking for, then we've got the support to run this, and we'll do it. So, yeah, the support's there. A lot of interest from Australia, which is awesome. And the key is that it's one race of a I guess, bigger carnival up here in the North Island. So we'll have our Group 2 Trotters Flying Mile. Was run on the Night of Champions last year that Aldebaran Zeus
won.
Of course, raced in. You won. And so that will go to the week before as a lead-in, as the Pacers was. And then following that, you've got the Lyle Creek Stakes, the National Trot, Anzac Cup, and Row Cup up at, of course, Alexandra Park. So all up, I think, it was at 1.45 million and 0.45 million, and that Trotters can race for over that 2 month or 6 week period. So, yeah, hoping that that's enough to, I guess, entice some horses over rather than just coming for one race.
Yeah, and this is talking trotters, but I think it's anything I do on Campbell's comments when it affects harness racing in general. Would you say then $1.6 million for the trotters? There's easily that much on offer for the fast class Pacers as well through that whole carnival as well. We saw Greg and Jess Tubbs. They came out last year for the race. Of course, they've got a couple of nice trotters in their camp. That is the most appealing part to this whole carnival, isn't it? You've got a nice couple of fast class horses and one or two trotters. It's a pretty appealing time to come across the ditch and take on the North Island.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, all those races essentially on the doorstep over a decent period. So, I think as well having our race at the start of that, going obviously the same way that you guys race around in Australia is a bit of an advantage as well. But then having Auckland, those big races at Auckland, obviously on the doorstep as well is awesome. And there's some really good stake money on offer, as you say, for both the Trotters and the Pacers. And
it's a great time. I'm fortunate enough I can't get there for the Grins next year. I'm not sure if you were going to ask me or you weren't going to ask me, Dave, but unfortunately I've got a commitment with the Nutrien yearling sales. But it does culminate right through to the NZB weanling sales, and then it is Row Cup night. Oh, actually, it goes the other way. Sorry, it's the Row Cup night is on the Friday night, and the Auckland Cup is on that Friday night, and I think the Great Northern Derby traditionally is on that night as well for the Trotters, and then you ends up with the weanling sale on the Sunday, and the weanling sales, like you've been to them, it is something very different. It's a really unique time to be in New Zealand racing, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, I think everyone's still, you've asked me about the Derby. I couldn't tell you, to be honest. I know it's somewhere around there, but we're still in the early stages of this new calendar and finding out where all these races land and stuff. But, obviously having that built in, definitely that Auckland Row Cup night has been where the weanling sales have fallen the last couple of years. So, that's always a good weekend as well. No,
it is indeed. There's been a lot of talk about horses coming back, and the one thing I find, I would imagine for yourself and for slot holders, a lot of the names that have been bandied around at the minute are probably a little bit predictable, if you like, and there's probably some that won't get there and some that will get there. The excitement factor of some of these up and coming trotters that potentially, give this race a real X factor about it, I suppose, Dave, if that's the right way to put it. Like, there's horses over here like London to a Brick, a pacing bred trotter that's just a freak. He won the Great Square in Queensland. He beat a horse called RC Phoenix. RC Phoenix is a 4-year-old horse coming up in the game, but got terrific gate speed. They're big, they're strong. They've had a couple of trips already here. There's so many more X factors. I know you'd love to get Queen Alida back there, Muscle Mountain, Just Believe to come back over and race. Muscle Mountain will be there, I would imagine, Bolt for Brilliance. But there's this X factor of next wave horses coming through.
Yeah, you're right. And I guess that's why the conditions are... so we've carried over the conditions from the race by Grins, pref draw 3-year-olds, not expecting that we'd get a 3-year-old like with the Pacers, but it's an option, given that under the new, the old, I guess, calendar, if you're working under that, they're not being 4. So if anyone wanted to do that, then there's that pref draw and then mares as well. So obviously that's really attractive to the Queen Alida camp and those ones, but it adds that extra dimension to the race, if you like. And for me, it's like you say, these exciting horses, and they're all coming together to one race with no, I guess, exposed form lines. And I think for trotters, it's been a while since we've had a true Trans-Tasman clash, I guess. And by all accounts, those horses that you reeled off, and if we got a few more, and obviously things chop and change, but it could be something really special, which is obviously what we want.
I keep raving the 4-year-olds who have now, by that time will be 5-year-olds. I think they're as good as they were. The fillies this year, I forgot about a horse like the Locomotive. I think he's had something like, I wrote it down. I didn't write it down on this page. I wish I had it. 19. I think he had 19. He's had something like 19 starts, 13 wins, 7 Group 1s. And he's a horse that I don't know why no one has actually mentioned, because he's got great gate speed, he's got great stamina, he's got that X factor about him as well.
Yeah, and I guess that's the beauty of the slot race, right? After the slots are announced, it's up to the slot holders to do that work and find that X factor. I mean, they almost pulled it off with No Matter What was the last horse announced in the pacing race of the race by Grins, the mare that got barrier 1, and there was all this talk of not going to be competitive, and we know how good she was, and unfortunately galloped and otherwise was going to get third. So it's all about adding the layers to the race, getting the I guess people talking in the lead up, and bringing it together for a race that people want to watch and want to have a bet on.
Those slot holders were very, very smart, because they did their form and they said, well, we can't pick the next best pick and expect to win it. And that's no disrespect to whoever that horse may or may not have been. They looked outside the square. They said, we need to get all the advantages we can. And so they picked the Oaks winner, No Matter What. A very, very good filly, a little bit temperamental, and that was where it was a brave pick as well by picking her. But as you said, they raised more than a few eyebrows, especially halfway up the straight when she was poking through underneath.
Yeah, for sure. And we're seeing the same in the Everest this week, aren't we? With everyone trying to find that. It's a game, right? And the slot holders. That's why a lot of them are buying in. They want to have that fun. They want to have those conversations, and it's exciting.
And that's the beauty of the trotting gate, I think, too, that separates it a little bit from the paces. And I'm a harness racing lover, full stop, doesn't matter what gate it is. But these trot races, they throw up so many curveballs. You see horses that seem unbeatable. There's a hitch in their gate, and all of a sudden they just lose it. And there's other horses that just seem that one length behind, and then all of a sudden they find that bit of speed, and it can change overnight. So, I mean, this race could get turned on its head, at any time. That's for sure, especially in the lead up to it. Yeah,
definitely. I think a lot to happen in harness racing. A long time between now and April, right? So we've got all our big races over here. Of course, the Inter-Dominions. You have horses come out of that might put their hand up and deserve a trip over here. So, as soon as I guess we get the slot holders confirmed and we make that announcement, then it's game on from there.
Yep, and Emily Morgan's texted in that the Northern Trotting Derby is on Rowe Cup night. So I think that's 5 weeks after. So. There's the option you might get a pretty exciting three-year-old over there for that, with the option that they can hang around, especially in the right camp. As I said, the right camp that might have the paces there as well. There's some really nice pacing races, and it culminates in a brilliant night of racing at Auckland. So well done, Dave. I think it's very, very exciting.
Yeah, for sure. We're very excited, and all part of the plan, I guess, to keep building our Night of Champions event, and we want it to be the real showpiece of harness racing, nighttime harness racing in New Zealand and Australasia. So, this is the next piece of the puzzle for us.
I was fortunate enough to be there, and I think when you're there, you definitely see things differently. There was a bit of chatter about another race being done better. I was blown away by how well it was done last year. And simple little things that I didn't think about. Instead of having a big race card, I think you only had 7 races. You might correct me, but I think you only had 7 races on the night.
8 we had in the end, yeah.
It was 8, was it? Yeah. You had Merlin going around and a couple others in that field as well. So that was a star-studded race. You had the champion mare, Millwood Nike, going around. as you said, you had the trot race with Aldebaran Zeus that added that X factor and thankfully showed the Kiwis what he can do. He didn't handle Auckland's way of going. So you had 4 major races on that night. You'll drop one trot off, but it's still a bumper night of racing. And then you had this X factor. So anyone that doesn't know, David and the last race was the race by Grins, and basically presentations were done, and then the music started, and it was full on party atmosphere, wasn't it, Dave? After that.
Yeah, for sure. That's always been a vision that I've had, is to have a party on the track after the last race. So to see that happen, and we had a well-known New Zealand artist, and then a DJ set out on the track, and it was it was pretty cool. So as with everything, we always learn, and I'm lucky that I've got such an incredible team who want to, I guess, find those little things that we can all always improve on. For us, it's always about being bigger and better, and what that looks like. Those supporting races, we want people brought into those as well. So we're looking at ways. I guess, for the whole event, it's easy to say we want to engage a new crowd or we want new people to racing, but for us, we're really challenging ourselves on how we do that. A big play last year was we ran a sweepstake on the Race by Grins. So we actually gave away $100,000 in cash. So someone that had copied that walked away with $50K, which is a life-changing amount of money for most people. So and that brought in a whole nother dynamic. So for us, as we're planning for next year, we're going, what is more of that stuff we can do? How can we get the community involved? How can we get more people watching the event that wouldn't usually interact with harness racing?
Yeah, and I would imagine probably one of the juggles is one of your highlights from last year. As I said, you finished the Grins and then the music played. You're going to have to try to sort of pay respect to both of these slot winners, if you like, and also the slot holders, but then also be able to capture that entertainment, because there will be people that won't go there for the racing, but they'll still be there. I can promise I was there, and the crowd was that deep, but they were all watching the race. The lights got their attention. They made sure that the race was on, and they were there to have the party. But so I suppose that's going to be one of your juggles next year is your timing of when you put those 2 races on, and how you make sure you capitalise, I suppose, for the slot holders and the winning owners and the people that take the horses over there.
Yeah, you're right. And obviously being a harness, being born and bred in harness racing, that's really important to me and my team as well. So we want to, as you said, make sure we're honouring the champion horses that we have on track and giving them their time, but at the same time getting the crowd involved, but giving them what they've come for at the end of the night as well. So that will be one of the challenges. I'm a real fan of having one of the big races as the last race, rather than, I feel like sometimes you can lose the crowd if you go, so you had the Race by Grins and then a lesser class pace or something. I feel like people might tune out. So it's how we do that in a way that gets everyone on board, and that's all the fun stuff we're working through at the moment.
I'll be honest, Dave, I was on the fence with it. I was like, I thought this is sort of interesting. I didn't see a disgruntled owner afterwards. The horses, thankfully, anyone that hasn't been to Cambridge, probably far enough away as well. It makes it a little bit easier for you guys. Like it would be 150, 200 metres from the winning post back to the horse area. So that part, but no one was complaining about the noise or anything back at the horses, and vice versa. It actually worked very well. So I left there saying more clubs have got to do this. They need to put their cup on as the last race and then engage with the crowd and get them there somehow. And I still haven't seen too many others do it. Hopefully someone, a couple of people might be watching and might sit there and say, okay, we might try it. But I think it definitely works. After being at Cambridge last year, Dave, I reckon it's an absolute winner.
Yeah. The pushback that I'll get, and that we'll always get, and I definitely got last time, was that the turnover on that second, that last race. If people have lost on the big race, they might be sitting at home, they might go again, or if you have a jackpot or into a betting pool or something. So that's one of the pushbacks. But the Karaka Million, the big thoroughbred race meeting over here, they have 6 races, and they've stuck unwaveringly to that concept, and they go there 6 races. I think it's the 3-year-old million or 1.5 million it'll be next year, and then they go straight into their party. So it's not new in that sense, and it's just going to be, I guess, that's definitely what I'll be fighting for, but we'll watch this space, I guess.
Encourage them to just tell them, just say, listen, they can bet at the next at Bendigo or wherever when they're sitting at home. But maybe it's a way, this Trans-Tasman, maybe it is a way that, on that night, like it's a Friday night, there'll be a boutique race meeting in Victoria. Feed back into that, like use the 2-hour difference and just say, rightio, maybe whatever club it is, they turn around and say, congratulations, Cambridge Raceway. And get that New Zealand content maybe looking at it, or I don't know, put a race on with horses with all NZ after their name or something along those lines. Just think outside the square to grow our product. I think that's the definite upside to it.
Yeah, I think we're all in this together, right? We all love in it because we love the sport and we want it to grow, no matter what side of the ditch we're on. So yeah, and any ideas like that, we're always open to. We're always willing to push the boundaries and try something new, which is exciting. Blue
Stream pictures are there. Actually, it's a funny time. And Clint, you might want to keep watching for a sec. But he says here, so he's the greyhound photographer. He's the official course photographer, GRV here in Victoria. He says he 100% agrees that the feature races should be deeper into the program and keep the people on track. The greyhounds are a little bit lucky because I think Clint might correct me, but I reckon they race one more race afterwards. But they can sort of get away with that because they have that 15-20 minute gap a lot of the time, whereas with the harness horse we don't have that luxury of being able to get them back out there. But I've been fortunate enough to be to a lot of greyhound cups, and they definitely have the music playing as quickly as they can straight after. So I think that part's good. Dave, the other thing on it, you said there before about Entain and a person that's at the forefront of it, if you like, with the Cambridge Raceway. I suppose the enthusiasm, if you like, since this Entain announcement has come on board for the whole industry, it's infectious, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And we needed it. We needed that little boost of enthusiasm. But I'm fortunate, I guess, that Entain were one of our... Dean was one of the first people that called me when we announced the race by Grins. So they've been in from day one, albeit we weren't allowed to use their name, and it was different conversations to what's happening now, but obviously they were represented with the Aussie lads. So they're in for a slot in the Trot Slot as well, and I'm seeing what they've taken, I Wish I Win in the Everest, and Jesus, on New Zealand Herald website today, I was watching the news before on Channel 1, and it's on there. They're really... they're just injecting a new life into the industry. So having them behind us and the Night of Champions event is massive, for everyone, I think.
Yeah, and just a little bit of history onto that. So Ladbrokes weren't allowed to sponsor. So the Aussie lads, I think you just said there, was that right, Dave? Yeah.
So New Zealand law doesn't allow any advertising of any betting agencies other than the TAB here in New Zealand. So we had a few hurdles to jump over with that, and TAB weren't comfortable at that time with us using the Entain name, so we stuck with, they came up with Aussie Lads. So they raced in red, bright red, I guess, Ladbrokes coloured silks, but they had the race logo rather than Ladbrokes on them to it, so we could comply with those rules.
And I think there was something along the lines of, it wasn't allowed to be too many red hats in the crowds and things along those lines. And then within the space of 2 years, they're pushing the industry forward. And this is the reason I say this, Dave, is, I mean, you're across most things. In Victoria, things aren't looking all that rosy just at the minute. Things can turn quickly if the right people get behind and start pushing in the right direction.
Yeah, that's right. I think, obviously, having Dean Shannon, who's in charge of Entain, being a passionate harness person, and as I said, the key for us was that he was involved in the race from day one, so I think could understand and see what we were trying to achieve with the Night of Champions. He was on course this year. So he got to experience the night and see what we were trying to do. So, the reality is they were the difference between this being able to happen or not. So we owe them a lot, and looking forward to repaying that and going on the journey with them. And
from memory, he didn't get a winner on the night, but he didn't really care. He just had a ball, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so. And they haven't had much luck with their with their slot holders, so I'm sure they'll be looking to change that in the coming years. So I think they had Krug in year one, and then BD Joe last year. So I'm sure they'll be coming out all guns firing with now having two runners and two slot races on the mark.
This is the What the Hill Talking Trotters show. Paul Foster's put a comment in there about Dylan Ferguson, and he's right. Love Me Too is going around here in Victoria on a Wednesday night. He's gearing up for the Victorian Trotting Derby. But again, there's another name that no o's mentioned, Dave, and he's on your back doorstep. And I mean, he's a superstar. We saw what he did last year in the Great Northern Derby, or earlier this year in the Great Northern Derby. He's a jet of a horse. He's got rock star looks. He's one of those horses that someone in New Zealand could get hold of and actually market and change the way people look at the industry, because he's got a thoroughbred crossover, if you like, with, I forget the horse's name, Sharp and Smart. Yeah. And so Merv Butterworth, who's a trotting person, owns a thoroughbred with Rogie and a few of the other people. So you've got this great crossover. So here's this horse that, that could get the entire part of New Zealand talking. I think it's great. I just think it's outstanding.
Yeah, definitely. And like say, having them that local angle, a big thing for us is with the slot holders is hoping or trying to partner with people that want to promote the race just as much as we do. So
yep,
I think you saw that with the Eureka, and the racing jurisdictions taking slots and doing their own races and all that kind of stuff. And then that just adds in the I used to explain it when I was talking about the race by grins, is trying to sell that to people that it can be a hype generating machine, because you just get people talking about it from as soon as the slot holders are announced, or we're talking about it now right up till the races run, and then you go again next year.
Yep, and you get people thinking. Don't worry, there'll be people thinking right now with 2-year-old trotters. They'll be thinking, geez, if this race is on in 2 or 3 years' time, it could hit the $1 million mark. Makes a big difference. Makes a very, very big difference. Alex Hurley said there about we could go shorter gaps. Definitely could here at Bendigo. Unfortunately, Alex, they can't do that at Cambridge because they do have a greyhound track inside of Cambridge, so it would make it a little bit tricky. It is a big greyhound track, but I don't think it's quite big enough for them to warm up on either. Dave, I will let you go, but before I do, I actually went to your Facebook page, and you guys do things differently, fair to say. There's no worries there. And when Blue Stream photos, when he sees this, when Clint sees this, he'll understand where I was going with it. The Stallions at the Raceway, Friday the 24th of November. And I've got the photo. Don't you worry about cringing. This is a very interesting night. Is this for the ladies? Is this how we'd best describe it?
Yeah, so you can blame the girls in the office for that one. They've got a code word. I'm going to throw them under the bus now, and I'll play them the stack tomorrow. But
I'll put the photo back up for them. Don't worry about that.
They call it the politicians' night, so their partners and stuff don't know, because they all, of course, want to work it. So this is actually the second one of these that we've done. They did one earlier in the year, and it was so successful. We sold out the whole top level of our grandstand lounge. It's not at a race night, but it's on a Saturday night, I think, and then they've gone again. So. Yeah, we have quite a few laughs about that in the office. It's good.
Michelle Thomas has already tagged before you even said politicians, Paul.
That's our head chef. So she's one of the bad influences.
Yeah. So the comment before it is innovative, forward thinking, pretty happy to be a part of this. Backing the industry as best we can to think outside the box and support harness racing. In the words of the wise man, pressure makes diamonds. And we're certainly trying. But then, as I said before, because I couldn't work out what politicians was, and then you turned around and said it's politicians' night, and I'm like, okay, now I understand. So that's not at a trot night.
No, that's not at a trot night. But that's one of they get sick of me saying it, but that's one of my favourite sayings: is pressure makes diamonds. Whenever things get a bit rough here, we double down. So that'll be why that's added in. But yeah, I'm sure the girls will get a kick out of this tomorrow as well. You
went pretty close to making a couple of diamonds on Grins Night last year. One day you might be able to just sit back and enjoy it, Dave. But I don't reckon it'll be next year when you've got 2 slot races on, mate. I think the pressure will be pretty huge.
Yeah. We, as I said before, we're such a good team. We put everything into it. But it would be nice to have a race meeting that we sit back and do nothing, but that's not how we roll. So it'll be bigger, better, and it'll just keep growing is the plan.
Dave, thank you very much, mate. I'll catch up with you. I'll be seeing you. You'll be Cup Week, I would imagine, down there in Addington, so I'll be over there for that. But we'll catch up then again. But well done. Thinking outside the square's been a lot of talk about it. Thankfully, looks like you've been able to get it underway. And I think your initial one, there was all these comments about having it be $1 million race. There's no talk about the prize money in this one. I think just let it grow organically, and I think it'll grow. And I think well done to you. And it's just makes, as I said, for an exciting 5-6 week venture into New Zealand for anyone with some high class paces, some 3-year-olds. You could take a whole raft of horses over there, and that's what New Zealand harness racing want. They need bigger fields and go from there. So Dave, very quickly before I do let you go, you would be pretty excited about the noms. I don't know if you've seen the noms for Addington on Friday, but to see Muscle Mountain and Bolt for Brilliance taking on each other, on the early parts of you opening this up, it must be terrific for you to see such high class trotters stepping out in New Zealand.
Yeah, definitely. And I think just the depth of that race as well. And you've got Oscar Bonavina in those ones. So I'm actually going to be down there. I've got a very small interest in horse in the 2-year-old pacing harness millions. So I'll be down there on Friday for that, which is pretty exciting as well.
Boys or girls?
Boys. Lee Major won that. Trained here on the track by Anna. So.
Goes terrific too. Absolutely. You won three on the bounce. Beautifully named horse too. $6 million man. So a lot of people might not know how he got his name, but Lee Girl and then Art Major, but the $6 million man, I love it. So, but I'm showing my age. I shouldn't say that. So there'll be some people be going, what is he on about? There'll be others that will say, yes, we do know it. And those races are good. And just quickly, we talk about the trotters. That first race, which isn't the first race, but is actually, it might be the first race actually. I'm not sure if that's how they work when they go race one on your noms? No, I didn't.
No, it'll get juggled around. Yeah.
But Matty White with Paramount Kiwi trotter, he's trains on the track as well. It's a lovely trotter, 2 from 2, taking on Princess Sadie for the Williamsons. There's some really nice races holding up in New Zealand. It's exciting, and it's exciting to see so many of them still staying there now too. So pretty super excited actually.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
looking forward to it.
All right, mate. Thank you very much for joining me. Congratulations to yourself and the club. Michelle, good luck with politicians. Is it politicians night or just politicians?
Politicians. That's just their code word for when we're having meetings and when they're going to tell their husbands that they want to work on Saturday night for a change. So.
This is what they're going to if the husbands are watching this show and they want to know. That's actually what they'll be going to. So it's all good. All right, mate. Thank you very much, and well done. And thanks for joining me, Dave. And we'll be in touch. We'll keep in touch.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Catch you later.
So David Branch joining me there from New Zealand, from the Cambridge Raceway, and I think it's super exciting. What is happening over there? It's a really good time, positive time in New Zealand harness racing. So which is what we want to be able to do. So going forward, so I might have to open that one up. No, all's good. All right, plenty happening. Going through. We'll keep on to the New Zealand guys just for a second, then I'll get Maree Conroy on the phone. She was at the trial, so we'll just give her a little bit more time to go. I spoke there before to Dave about Bolt for Brilliance. This was his first race back from a spell, and he was awesome winning here, all cashed up on the outside. He was going to definitely make a race for it, and unfortunately, talking to Anton during the week on the on loose lines, and he has stifle troubles, and he was just in a dead set straight line, so you would imagine that something might have just kicked there. But he's a horse that hopefully coming out here for the Great Southern Star and then going back for a race like that. He's a superstar horse. He's a beautiful horse to look at too. I'm just trying to get his breeding up here now while I go, but he's by Muscle Hill out of Too Much to Do. Now she was, because they say he's brown, but he's actually she was by Brightway, but yeah, just a beautiful horse himself. He's now had 47 starts, 21 wins, 12 seconds, $700,000 in the bank. He last race before that was on New Zealand Cup Day in the Dominion Handicap, I think it was, and no, it couldn't have been. I need to go back into that because he was going to be heading out to Australia. It says there that he was entered for overseas. Oh, he ran second. Oh, he did come overseas. That's right. But yeah, I think can't remember what actually happened there. But anyway, but yeah, good to have him back at the races. So he was awesome. And that is a really, really exciting race on Friday night at Addington. There's Fields. We'll tune into Over the Ditch. It'll be out about 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Myself and Matt Markham will be going through them all, and we will also be going through all of those runners as well, all those races as well, highlighting them. But yeah, some really exciting races going over there. Tommy Bagri, he has a terrific team of horses at the minute. He was able to win the Southland Oaks the other day with the Trotters. This is a little mare called Walking on Sunshine, with Blair Orange in the sulky. It was interesting. I read the stewards' reports. One thing that did tickle my fancy, this was the Dancing in the Dark M Southern Oaks. So Walking on Sunshine for Tammy Bagri. Aurora Kenny gets into second for Maddie Williamson. That's on the fence. And then the outside is Crackling for Brad Williamson. He trains and drives that one as well. But on the stewards' comments, the stewards queried why Blair didn't pull the fractured pedal bone. Thank you. He did fracture a pedal bone. I thought he had, but obviously didn't break it. So Walking on Sunshine, just doing a terrific job. Picked up 13,000. Then Tommy's got a great team. He's got a good team of trotters as well. I'll try and get him on. I might catch up with him when I get over there in New Zealand. This mare's had 10 starts now for 4 wins and $67,000 in stakes. And she was third a week ago in the Macca Lodge. Yep, lovely mare, going terrific. Tony Hurley drove her on that occasion. So Brian Kesey, programming for 3-year-old trotters. Is there any good news on more 3-year-old trot races? Sorry, Brian, no idea. Put my hat back on too. So yep, I don't know the answer to that one. Haven't been able to see those. And then yeah, fractured a pedal bone. Won both the Northern and Southern Oaks, heading to the New Zealand Oaks. I looked up her form earlier, Emily. She actually ran second in the Great Northern Derby last year as well. She's a really high-class mare, exciting, and yeah, good to see him with a nice lot of horses for Tommy Bagri. That is for sure. So that gives me 3 highlights for the trotters. Oh, no, it's not. No, I have one other one to watch. Now, I want people, you got to go to hrnz.co.nz to just watch the videos. Very, very easy to do. You click on the days, they come up. They're very, very simple to do. Jasanova, this is at Auckland on Friday night. I think it was race 3. It was. Luck Chin drives this horse. He's an anaesthetist. Emily will be very impressed that I was able to get that word out. 74 years young he is. He only trains about 3 or 4 horses. Most of them are racing. He loves his trotters. Sometimes I think he gets out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning to work them before he goes off to do his anaesthetist job. And then he goes to the races and absolutely loves it. At this race, I love this race. You've got to go back and watch it. He's all out. There's no worries there. The last quarter's in 31.3, but you can see all the horses chasing just cannot get there. And yeah, I know your inhibitions. You don't worry, I suppose, as much as you get older. And I don't know, Luck was that worried about it, but 59.7. So he's trotted down the back in about a 28. 28 dead. Mile rated 2-3, just kept rocking and rolling and done a terrific job. And it's a great race to watch. There was some huge racing. I'll cover off more of those tomorrow on Over the Ditch. That mare's now had 89 starts, 13 wins, 2 seconds, and 14 thirds, and 135,000, we'll say, in stake by Love You out of Jelinski. Yep, he's a great story. It is a great race to watch. That is the Rising Foundation Trot, that was. But go and watch all of Auckland. If you didn't tune into Auckland the other night, it was sensational watching. His own family breed too. So yeah, which is exciting. So I think M-City trains about 4. I wonder how many of those he actually breeds every year. So Emily and the team at HRNZ were able to catch up with him when they were over there, and when I was over there, did an interview. I haven't seen that one. Maybe Ems could reshare it at some stage, and we'll be able to get it there. He actually ran third in the first race as well, which was taken out by Sweet Olivia for Andre Portman. Andre did a few videos for me, so well done to Andre, and we will catch up with him in a second as well. But what I am going to do first is try and hopefully get Maree Conroy on the phone. Hopefully.
G'day, Paul.
Maree, how are you?
Pretty good, thanks.
That's the way. I don't have your photo up yet. I will do that as we negotiate. But you're on your way home from the trials. Firstly, how were the trials? Were they successful?
Yeah, they were. Nick had a 2-year-old pacer having his first qualifying trial, and he qualified, or I assume he did. He went pretty well.
Well, that's all good. So it's not a happy wife, happy life. It's actually a happy husband, which is he's pretty hard to please too, just quietly.
He is. He's a bit of a perfectionist and can be a bit grumpy when he's concentrating.
It can be, and I trust he's driving and not you.
I'm just pushing the cart out, Paul, so as long as you can hear.
Have you only just finished?
Yeah. I've been talking to Laurie O'Keefe, and he was telling me a few stories about some trotters that he's got, and telling me about the bloke Matthews. He's got a trotter off him, and I think he said he bred 7 trotting mares. So I said, well, you better buy a raffle ticket off me then.
Well done. You're not bad at the segues. I'll give you that. We'll get onto that straight away. We'll talk about a couple of the other things going forward. But the VSTA and Harassed Trotters, I think we quite comfortably can compare that. The ticket prices are up there at the minute. Tickets are $30 each, or 4 for $100. And basically, they'll be drawn on it, and there is 5 prizes to be won. Is that the way? Am I reading that the right way?
Yeah. Patrick School was good enough to give us 5 sewing services. So we've got 5 sewing services, and we will draw 5 tickets out of the box on Redwood Day, and you can indicate your preference for a stallion on your ticket, and if you're lucky enough that stallion hasn't gone when it's drawn out, you can have your preference. If not, we'll call you or ask you to come up and select another one. But they're all good, Paul. They're all really good stallions, so you're very lucky to get anything.
No, absolutely, Maree. And no, I mean, it is enormous what a lot of these studs, the contribution a lot of these people do to these shows. I mean, this used to be Talking Trotters for Harassed Trotters, and Woodlands have since picked up the sponsorship for it. But Harassed Trotters are great supporters of mine and great sponsors of mine as well. And this pretty much goes over and above, because you don't have to be bad on your maths to work out. Like that's a $15,000-$16,000 trophy that he's put up there. When you add up all those prices, those service fees, EL Titan and on a streak at 3,850, Classic Connection for 3,300, Used to Me and Always Ready at 2,200. I mean, just amazing generosity from Harassed Trotters to try and ensure that the trotters go forward in this industry.
Yeah, it's a big thing, and the bloke was telling me tonight that EL Titan's about $10,000 too cheap.
Well,
that's someone that is going to EL Titan, not be going back. He's not just trying to win our raffle. He said he's got the good going. It's a wonder he's not $10,000 more. So I think Pat's trying to be realistic and trying to let everybody get a go at his going, so he's keeping his prices down. But he's very generous.
I'll actually have a look in a sec. The full roster is there for Harassed Trotters, and basically, as you can see, it's every horse is in the chilled options, with the exception of On Solitaire. So for my Kiwi viewers, On Solitaire is available through Macquarie Lodge down in south of New Zealand. But EL Titan, On a Streak, Classic Connection, Used to Me, and Always Ready are the 5 chilled options available here in Australia, and all 5 of those are available on this raffle. Before we get too involved, best way for people to get in touch with you guys and get a ticket, Maree?
You can get a ticket in person off any of the committee of the VSPA. So that's, I'm running out of tickets, but I can still round out some on Katrina Fitzpatrick, Katrina Knight, Ian White, John Campbell, Tony X, and Jerry Addard are the committee people, or you can call Sue White or Katrina Knight, or go to, excuse me, Vic Square Trotters at Hotmail, send an email, and they'll direct you to the bank and put your name and as a reference number if you want to put it into our bank account, and then they'll get in touch with you and find out if you have a preference or if you're happy just to have a ticket.
What was that email account, Dom?
It's Vic Square Trotters at hotmail.com.
At hotmail.com.
Yeah.
Okay, Vic.
Yeah, sorry, Paul, I'm reading in the house dark here.
No, you're right. It just went a little bit muffled when you actually said it. I got the hotmail.com, but I didn't get the first part. So Vic Square Trotters at hotmail.com.
So,
if
you email that and ask about it, someone will get in touch with you or Ian White, the secretary, will get in touch with you and tell you how to go about getting a ticket. I'll be at Maryborough on Thursday, and so will Katrina Fitzpatrick. So we've both got some tickets, and if we've got any left, we'll be selling them over the Redwood Carnival, so the Friday and the Sunday, and then they'll be drawn out on the Sunday.
Yep. So towards the end.
We haven't on a time yet, but we'll let people know what that time will be. Excuse me.
No, going forward. So we want to make sure people are aware of that. They could also, if they did want to get involved, they can contact. Most people will be able to point them in the way. So if you're an out-of-stater and you know someone interstate, you can definitely get involved. And we want to make sure people are aware of that too, because it is not only a Victorian only. I mean, it raises money for the Victorian Square Trotters Association, but of course EL Titan and Honor Streak will be both standing at Cobbitty Farm. They're both there. EL Titan arrived last week. Classic Connection will be standing at Somerset Farms in Queensland, and then Used to Me and Always Ready will both be standing here in Victoria, actually at the Goulburn Valley. So it is an Australian-wide thing. We want to get people Australia-wide involved in it, Maree.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sorry, I forgot to mention Louise Pullman. Louise Pullman has tickets, is on the committee, is at Yabby Game, and I can't believe I left her out. So, yeah, you can contact Louise, and Louise will point you in the right direction. Sell tickets, and Louise is happy to send tickets into state as well. So that's something that she mentioned she could do. So, yeah, sorry.
No, that's fine. Maree, you also are the president of the Victorian Square Trotters Association. I mean, there's always presidential duties to be done, and there's been probably a lot of, I suppose, I don't want to say negative, but not positive, I suppose, not overly positive news, at the initial part of the year. But things have seemed to have stabilised, I would say, from afar, looking at it, that the industry is now starting to work towards and pull our socks up, I suppose, and work forward.
Yeah, I think so, Paul. And I've written something to that effect in our newsletter, which will be coming out very soon, that we all need to work together. You know, we're going to go through some pretty tough times, and that's not going to change anytime soon. So we all need to sort of batten down and help each other out. You know, think about, well, you know, maybe I'm not going so well, but there might be someone doing it tougher than me. So we really need to help each other.
Yep, and try and get the industry back going where we all love it. You know, everyone says, "Oh, back it used to be this and it used to be that." That won't happen. But I do know with my association with New Zealand, you wouldn't have heard the interview I just did with David Branch. But New Zealand, when I was over there, there was major stakes decrease announcements because of basically a mismanagement, I suppose. That's all changed. There's nothing but positivity, and now they've announced a $650,000, Trotters Slot Race. So, things can turn, and they can turn relatively quickly, as long as we all push in the same direction.
That's right, Colin. Everybody likes to whinge and moan, but, some people sort of can do something about it, and I think it's important that we don't whinge and moan and drag each other down, and everyone should jump in and say, well, what can I do? What ideas can I come up with? And I know you've tried with that as well, to get people to think positively and think, well, what can we do to make things better? And that's what we have to do. Don't get on Facebook and get whinging and carrying on, but try and do something about it.
Absolutely. Trust me, I could tee off. There's a few people that know me, and there's a few times that I just get so frustrated, but it doesn't help. It doesn't help anyone. We need to continue growing. Last Friday night was an all Trotters night. As the president of the Square Trotters Association, Maree, do you get blown away now? Both you and I, unfortunately, are old enough to remember that there was once upon a time never ever an all Trotters day, and then thankfully the Redwood committee were able to get an all Trotters day, and then they made 2 days of it, and that was a big thing. Last Friday night there was an all Trotters night, and it doesn't get that fanfare now. Part of that's possibly a bit of a negative, if you like, but the flip side of it is accepted now. It's so exciting, isn't it, for the trotter?
It is, and we're very lucky in this state that there's so many good trotters, there's so many good trotting trainers, and more and more people are becoming trotting trainers, and now, as you say, having an all trotting night is just commonplace. It didn't. No one raised an eyebrow that we were having an all trotting night, really. So, it's great. One of my frustrations, I probably wish we had an eyebrow raised or two, but that's okay. Yeah.
I know. Bob Conroy, Trotters Classic. You must be rapt that this race is continuing there too, in memory of your father. Yeah,
well, last year when Gary Bennett sprang up and said that was something that they were going to do, we were super pleased. And one guy told Glenn the other day that if he forced won the race, he'd cry for 3 days. That's such a lovely thing to say, and it's such a lovely thing to do. So we're hoping that next year maybe we might have a horse in the Bob Conroy, and that'd be great for us. So it's very nice, very nice.
No,
to be thought of, for them to think of that and name the race after him.
No, it is, and he's an ornament to the sport. He's a legend. He is an award. I know that at the VSTA night. I should know that because I actually hosted it the last 2 years. But I think it's a great name, and I think it's a very, very good thing that the industry do is remembering a lot of these people, and we've got to make sure we continue to do it.
Yeah.
As a trotting purist, we mentioned there about the Redwood Carnival and that it's the new racing calendar, I suppose. It's exciting. We've got better days like today. I'm sure even in Dalesford today would have been a ripper of a day leading into the Redwood at the end of the month. And it is Derby as well. We should never just say the Redwood, but it augurs that we can get good crowds to these good meetings now, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think previously they always have, and with the new management at the Redwood, I'm hopeful that Jack and Darby and Les Chapman working together, they might even do better. Who knows? Jackson seems to be thriving in the role and doing a good job. So with Les there guiding him, I'm hopeful that he can do that. I think he can.
Yeah, no, definitely. Louise Toolman's just tuned in. It's actually quite funny, isn't it? Jasper Barbie, and he's no relation. Yet it's not a very common. It's not a very common.
Well, we don't know. We don't know. Just now, go at home to talk to his granddad to find out if he was related to Nick. So last time I spoke to him, so he might be.
He definitely might be. Maree, thanks for joining me. We want to make sure, as I said, that people get involved in this raffle. As I said, it's close to, my maths is, actually I'll do 4, 8, Jesus, I'm in trouble now, 11. Yeah, it's over $15,000 in service fees. It is actually over $15,000 in service fees available there. As I said, with EL Titan and Honor Street both standing in conjunction with Cobbity Farms in New South Wales. Classic Connection, used to me and always ready. And one thing you've got to be aware of, we've actually got a Classic Connection filly here on the ground, and you get the option of being dual eligible. So
yeah.
He was in New South Wales last year, so we had the New South Wales and Victorian contingent of that. EL Titan and Honor Street will have that this year, and Classic Connection will be a Q-bred horse, and I had Darren Clayton on there before. He has to always do this. I think if your first win bonus, if you breed a horse Q-bred, something like $14,000 over and above the stake money price, which is just unbelievable, isn't it, Maree?
Yeah, look, there's a hell of a lot of money up for grabs. You're spending $40 on a raffle ticket, and if you can get this horse to win one race, this foal, to win one race in one of these states, you're up for a hell of a lot of money. So, some people, when I ask if they'd like a raffle ticket, they say, "Oh, I haven't got a mare." Well, that's not really an excuse, because it's terribly easy to get a trotting mare, and it's not necessarily need a trotting mare either. You could use a pacing mare, but there's always cheap, well-bred trotting mares available. So, and you could always borrow one, but you can't borrow one from the Abbey Dam Farms. You have to have your own mare, and not in the ticket, but you must have your own mare. So, I wouldn't be afraid to buy a raffle ticket whether I had a mare or not. Not that hard to get a good mare.
No, and it goes to great cause, raising money, which you guys put all that back into stake money and trying to improve the trotter as well. So,
we put it back into bonuses, lugs, and there's bonuses from the VSTA on all those races at Redwood on the Friday and on the Sunday. So, if you're looking at racing on the Friday or the Sunday, there's good days to win, because we're putting bonuses on all those races.
No, absolutely, and there's some New Zealanders already over here. High Steps over here, love me too. So it's going to be a super night, a super day. Sorry, was put to me the other day. Why don't Maryborough have lights? And I'm like, no, it's a day track. And then I was thinking, well, it would be a pretty nice day or a night, Redwood night. But anyway, that's the traditionalists won't like that one, Anne-Marie. But
well, it's something for the future. But I always enjoy a day out at Maryborough.
Yeah, ditto, and it's a 35-minute drive for me to get home, so I enjoy it probably more than a lot of other people. But it's one of those things, and really exciting news as well. I don't know if you caught up with it, but Cambridge announcing a slot race, the trotting gate, and it's the way that it is growing, I suppose, right across is just so exciting. The amount of stallions, the amount of choice people have this year, it's super exciting. It's gone a long way since the day when Dad decided to start training his first couple of trotters.
Yeah, for sure, following. Nick was telling me about the slot race last night, and there's so many opportunities for trotters, especially mares, and we can thank Pat Driscoll in part for that. He's contributed to creating more trotting races for mares, as has Justin McPherson, and there's never been a better time to have a trotter.
No, absolutely. Anne-Marie, thank you. Thank you for joining me. I will try and catch up with you beforehand, and we'll do one a little bit in person but we want to make sure people get in touch with any of the members on the VSTA, victrotters@hotmail.com. You can get in touch with them there as well. Louise Toolman at Harassed Trotters, she'll be able to steer you in the right direction as well, or any of the committee, or any like-minded trotting person if you want to get involved. If you're interstate, you don't know how to get in touch with anyone, if you send me a message, I'll be able to forward you on to the right places as well. We'll be able to do it and sell as many tickets as we can. And as I said, the interstaters, EL Titan and Honest Streak, are both in New South Wales, I forget what they call it, Breeders Bonus, New South Wales Breeders Bonus eligible, and then Q-Bred for Classic Connection, and of course Used to Be and Always Ready are both going to be Vic Bred. One will be Vic Bred Platinum.
All of Australians will be Vic Bred. It's just that only 2 of them are Vic Bred pure, but they'll all be Vic Bred in some way.
Yep.
If the mare is based in Victoria. But as you said, the interstate ones, some of them are Q-Bred, could be Q-Bred or New South Wales Breeders Bonus eligible as well as Vic Bred, and so you'd need to look into what you wanted specifically. But if the mare is based in Victoria, they can all be Vic Bred.
Yep, and I can say if you want a sassy little one, go to Classic Connection. Because Lucinda, she's had anyone who knew Lucinda, she was a little bit different. And she's had a lovely little Classic Connection filly, not little, but beautiful little horse. They're all little when they're foals, and I'll get some photos of her next week. But I can recommend him.
Well, that's good to know, Paul, because Ray Cross won our raffle when we had Classic Connection.
Yep.
You were involved with, and Ray Cross won the raffle that year, and he's really pleased with his Classic Connection as well.
No, super exciting. So I look after both my sponsors. I've got a Classic Connection on the ground and a What the Hill on the ground, and love them both, I must say. So not as keen on Lucy as a broodmare, but that's a totally different story. That is, but we won't don't worry. I thought she might have settled as being a mummy, but it's probably gone the other way. But anyway, we won't be. I'll tell you now, Emery, we won't be putting her back in the race cart anytime soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no. I don't think we can catch her to put her in the cart, but that'll be fine. So but no, she'll be fine. Emery, thank you. Well done. Continue doing the good work with the VSTA, and I appreciate you coming on and joining me, and we'll keep this going, and it will be drawn on Redwood Day, but you'll be able to buy tickets on Redwood Day if you're there as well.
Yes, thanks, Paul.
No, thank you very much, Anne-Marie. That's Maree Conroy joining me there from the VSTA as well, which is, it's a huge raffle. Have a look at that. $30 4 for 100, and you get to pick. You nominate a stay-in. If you're lucky enough that stay-in's available when you get your pick, away you go. But you can breed to any of those stay-ins there, and Always Ready will be pure. Used to Me will be platinum, and I'm pretty sure that means the rest will be platinum. The rest of the boys there will be platinum eligible as well. Doesn't matter. Super exciting and very easy to get into. What the Hill, of course, this closes on Wednesday. This is a stay-in tender with the Horsham and District Harness Racing Club. Closes this Wednesday. Get in touch with Tony Logan on 0427 857 411. 0427 857 411. That's a Horsham and District Harness Racing Club for the stay-in tender there to What the Hill, who is the proud sponsor of this race. One I would like to highlight, a couple of horses I would like to highlight before we go too much further, is Eddie Tap and Abby. Now, Abby gets a chockies. This is at Kilmore last Wednesday, I think it was actually. We'd had a lot of rain here in central Victoria. Cobram was called off. This was going to be the Cobram meeting, and this actually ended up being at Shepparton due to the weather. I think flooded the stalls, unfortunately for the guys at Cobram. But Abby got the chockies, brought up second win this year. Eddie trains only, as far as I know, he only has the 3 racehorses anyway. Abby, On Bobby and Millie. Abby's won 2 trots this year, On Bobby 2, and Millie bringing his total to 5. His stats for the year before were 9 wins. Before that, Eddie was training 1 and 2 winners a year. I think I'm going to get in trouble here. I think he was 67 years young, and he is absolutely just having a lot of fun going around with these horses as well. So it was one of the highlights I did want to show. As I said, that was a Cobram meeting that was transferred to Shepparton. Pretty sure if you look at the results, it's in Shepparton's category. But yeah, that was on the Wednesday after a heap of heavy rain. We'll go through a lot of the winners as well going forward. But of course, with the Trot Slots on the radar, and she being New Zealand owned, I'm sure Queen Elita's on a lot of people's radars, and so she should be after this. Another just enormous win, driven a little bit uncharacteristically. Chris generally goes to the back and lets the race unsettle and then gets her into it, and she'll get there at the last minute. But clearly they're tightening her up for a couple of races. I think the Bill Collins Mile is on this weekend, so she's got that. She went past Mufasa Metro. I'm Ready Jet gets home. Terrific for Anton Galino. Nathan Jack into third spot. They're just getting pipped out by Mufasa Metro, but yeah, they really rattled the times. She's just a brilliant mare. She's super exciting. I've actually got her times up in front of me. I just lost my mouse. It's very frustrating. Does not want to come back. There it is. It's on a different screen. So she, yeah, 158.4 sitting in the def outside Mufasa Metro. I'm Ready Jet was only beaten 4.5 metres. Loxley Lover was terrific. Maestro and Black and Gold weren't disgraced either, but yeah, she's a real serious horse. This horse, interesting to see. I know there was talk of her and the Elite Lot, and yeah, it'd be interesting to do. She won't be able to do the Elite Lot and the Trot Slot. We've got to get that name changed, the Slot Race for Trotters, but she won't be able to do that because of being able to get across there going forward. So was actually highlighted there before. I hit the wrong button, sorry. There before too on Wednesday night. So here in Melton, and it's one of those interesting races where there's a what's going on there? Something that's not ideal. We'll go back to that one for a second. It appears that one of my things has come out a little bit by the looks, because that should, right, sorry, didn't realise I had Queen Elita going as well. Not sure why that's not changing screens, because it should be. That's a little bit annoying. Just give me 1 second. It shouldn't need any prying actually to do it. It should just have done it. That's the way these things actually work, is they just should just do it. We'll go again. Okay. Not sure what to do now, because I like to highlight each of those races. I might actually pull this one out of here, and I'll try and put him into this one. Ah, I do know what's going on actually. The same thing. Bear with me for a sec. I should be able to fix this. I need to change something here. If anyone knew how to change screens, would be really, really handy right now. That's what I've got to do. Show only one. Keep the changes. We should be right now. If I get back to get back to this one here. No. What is going on here? That's actually worse. Sorry about this. I will get to it in a second. Right, now I'm thinking we're right. I think that's only because, oh, no, now I know what's going on. Oh, yeah, that was my fault. Right, we're back. Okay, If people are still watching, I apologise for that. Did have a few little technical issues. If you're watching on YouTube too, don't be scared to get the comments going in as we go through all of the results. I'm not sure why I did that, and it worries me now because there might be a reason that I did it. Yep, it's all good. Okay, back on track. I'll stay on track now. So, David Mackay, Gary Dowling, Michelle Arnett, Christy Mitchell. Hello to all you guys. Steve Bray is watching. Benny Pell, hello to you. Mary Jane Mifsard, Lorraine Barlag, Noah Albert. Brad Steele snuck in. Whether he's still on board there or not, who knows. Okay, let's go to a wrap. Now, I've got to also say a big sorry to Jack Butler, because unfortunately I said about how he's got Adele behaving herself, and unfortunately she misbehaved the other night. So hopefully for Jack he can sort her out, and we can go from there. Rightio, this was where I was up to with this little horse here, Love Me Too, stepping out here in Victoria in the Neville R Trotters stud. It's only an $8,000 race. I would say it's a nice little pipe opener. Good field: Malecki, Double Helix, Bob the Builder, Illawong, Lara J, Utopia, Medina Sky, Jericho's Trumpet, Mercenary, Love Me Too, and Zarem. He's coming off 20 metres. If you want an excuse to go out to the trot races on Wednesday night, go and have a look at this horse. Beautiful looker. He's a son of What the Hill. He has won $113,000 in stakes. He's had 8 starts, 4 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. So his first start, he actually got beat. His last start was the Great Northern Derby in New Zealand, where he was able to lead and win on that occasion. He's a beautiful horse to look at. He is a fair dinkum, serious horse to be able to go and watch at the races as well. So make sure you can get there. If you can get there, check him out. If you can't, tune in on to Sky or Trots Vision, and you'll be able to see him and go from there. Rightio, results. We'll go to Albion Park for a start. We had a 2-year-old trot race. Queenslanders. I will be in Queensland. Not sure about next week's show, whether I can do it live. No, I'll be able to do this show live next Monday night. The one after might be a bit tricky, but we'll work that part as we go. We could end up, Brad Steele, if you're watching, we could end up somewhere in Queensland at any stable, potentially doing it live, because there is that 1 hour difference as well. So that could be exciting as well, but we'll just see how we go. Might even do it. We might even see where the races are Monday. No, they don't have Monday off. Maybe right. We'll work it out. Just a bit Sully won the race for Doug Lee by Majestic Sun, beating Subtle Kinder, and only the 4 runners going around, but for $9,000 in stakes for the connections. Not as promised, of course, the Pacing Bred Trotter out of All Promises by Albert, very cleverly named, beating My Ultimate Eddie and Instant Delight. Yeah, 2 Pacing Bred horses, because My Ultimate Eddie is by Art Major, so it was a pacing horse. Quinella, this better not be. It is too. Have a look at that. First 3 home in race number 2, the Lunchbox Spelling Farms Trotters Handicap, all Pacing Bred Trotters. Scruffy Doolan is not. He's a Majestic Sun, yeah. But yeah, so not as promised. My Ultimate Eddie and Instant Delight. So betting line, Art Major and Better's Delight decide the first 3 home in that Classic Connection Harasta Trotter standing at Somerset Farms. Pacing Bred horse won that one as well. We've got to go collect, beating End Over Love and Natty Panga. He's an End Over Hall horse, the second horse, so I know that didn't happen there, but he's a 3-year-old. So yeah, quite interesting things happening in Queensland, but that's actually quite funny. She's Bella. So She's Bella's over here as well, and she's getting ready for the Oaks. She's actually by Pegasus Spur, the sire of What the Hill. Paul Foster timing in there, so he's exactly right. Love Me Too ran 4th to these other horse that he trained back then. Right, Menangle, and there was 2 trot races on here. Mackle Sunny by Majestic Sun for Belinda McCarthy and Jack Kelligan, beating Keeper of the Plains. Dream Big, Aim High is another What the Hill. BD, I don't know if that's how you say that word, because Dream Big Aim High was the first Group 1 winner for Watley Hill here in Australia. And then Albizia for Jared Orchin, Cameron Hart beat Tiger T and Affair du Caver. That is a Rasta Trotters bred horse there, filling the top two. Their Bendigo was cancelled. Globe Derby did race on that day. Aldebaran Styles by Aldebaran Eagle, Wishing Zone and Sama Bandero ran that. I could go out of it, but you guys are watching. You know what I'm doing. You can see I'm up here. I can wave to you. So you can see that I'm just scrolling through to see who else won. Oh yeah, Willis Graham by Andover Hall out of Sunlamp. Another Sundon mare. It's just amazing. Liberty Song and Pies Riding Shotgun. And they quite regularly, there we are. 2-year-old trot. I did see these field actually. Patricia M. That brings up win number 2, beating Count Carisso and Star of Patrick. Patricia M. Has had 2 starts, 2 wins? No, 6 starts for 2 wins. Of course, come over here for a couple of runs early on in the season, but she's enjoying being back in South Australia. Gloucester Park, there was a trot, and it was won by BB Baroque. He's actually won the last couple by Majestic Sun himself out of Jumanji Franco. Chamonix, and That's Not My Gate. So there's another pacing bred trotter. That's Not My Gate. Yep, and Chris Alford trained horse actually as well. Wednesday, we touched on Shepparton there, of course, with Abbey taking out the chockies there. Oh, that's right. They had we had the short distance trot. I think it was race 2. Yeah, Rastamon got the chockies there for Tina Rittis, beating Chinsky and Barlanin. Actually just ran them ragged. Rastamon did 28.5, 29.6 and 30.3 out in front. It was quite an emphatic win. And then it was interesting. I saw some feedback where the commentator, I think it was Lukey Humphreys, and the Sky Channel presenter said now the first of the real races. I'm not sure how some people would have enjoyed that, but anyway, Baxter for Brent Lilly. Lils has had a great week, beating Maleki and Our Safari's son, Glenn Conroy, and then the 3-year-old trot Liar of the Eagle by Aldebaran Eagle. That's 2 wins for him this week, beating Murray Franklin and Imperial Monarch, into third for Marg Lee and Glennie Craven. So that was Wednesday. Thursday there was Kilmore. It was a night meeting. We had race 2, Belmac Bambi for Glenn Sharp, Joshy Duggan beating Crookwell Eyes, Rockford Peach for Lisa Miles, Crookwell Eyes for the Duffies. Donna Amelia, John Tormey and Jack Law by Bacardi Lindy beat Designs and He's a Gunslinger. Bacardi Lindy gets a winner just about every week. This was a good win. I was meant to highlight this horse actually. M. Wallen for Courtney Slater beat Aldebaran Campbell, Manda Kai Valley, Link in Bio. Good little field that, and nice little horse, M. Whalen. If you're into your country and western, you won't forget that name. But yeah, he won very, very comfortably for Courtney Slater by Majestic Sun out of Ideal Lee. And I don't know if there was another trot. Yeah, there was. Aldebaran Demi by Aldebaran Eagle. That's 3 winners for the week. Beat Linda Grace and 1 Muscle Hill. So he's had a pretty good week so far. Aldebaran Eagle. No other trot races on that. And then, of course, Friday night was the last of them, because I will highlight something in a minute. We might go to Albion Park. Of course, I got... oh, no, this is Friday night. Sorry. We have to go Saturday night. Sorry about that. Wagga, there wasn't one. I don't think there was one here. You can see that I've looked at it because that's why it's red. And it doesn't want to load. No, there wasn't one on the Friday night. That was a big night of racing, a couple of Oaks races and the rest. So this was the all trotting night at Melton. Aldebaran Vera by Trixton out of Kai Valley. Aldebaran for Marg Lee, Jason Lee beat Blue Coman and Eddie Tapp and On Bobby running in third. Brent Lilly ran 4th there with Kai Valley Honey Bunny. He wins the next race with Kai Valley Hotspur by Muscle Hill out of Love Your Doozy. Love Your Doozy. It isn't, is it? I don't think it is. It could be. It is too. It's just the dam of Love Me Too. That's pretty ironic, isn't it? So, yeah, I love you, Doozy, Kai Valley Hotspur. Anyway, Hugo and Copacabana filled your top 3 there. Kyle Marshall trains and drives Copacabana. High Step, 3 starts, 3 wins here in Australia. Going very, very good. Obviously, I would say being aimed at the Redwood. Try and find out a little bit more about that later in the week. All that remains, Centurion Dream, by Centurion ATM for Rebecca Morrissey and Mickey Bellman. Queen Alida for Lils. Highlighted her there before, but I Love You out of Queen Kenny beating Mufasa Metro, and I'm Ready to Jet, Loxley Lover, another nice little run there for that horse. Kiang Chucky by Love You out of the Sun Goddess, another of the Sundon mares that has left nice winners here as well for the week. She's Ruby Roo, going to say congratulations to Graham Lyon, good mate of mine, in the ownership there with the Halls. And the Crackers group, bred by Ben Stud Standardbreds, Princessa Ruth, sorry. Now, I'm going to just check something before I shoot myself. Yep, it was so. So I actually had dinner with Ruth, who this horse is named after, on Saturday night at Daniel Hibbert's wedding. So Ruth Haynes, Ashley Haynes' wife. So she was there, got up and beat Rockin' with Attitude and Our Marvella. Terrific race. Yep, very, very exciting race. Glamour Stride jumped off Stride, but I think the rest of them trotted. The Sky's the Limit was out of the draw, but it was only out of position. It did trot. The Locomotive, what a jet this horse is. He's a horse that will be on everyone's radar for that slot race. I've got no doubt about it. By Muscle Mass, Adela Cucaracha just continues to get the job done, beating Grumpy, who was brave, led, gave a really good sight beat, and then What's Up Party Time, Kai Valley Anthony for third. Harry Stamper, my good mate Joe Pace, he was on earlier, beat Aroa Coe, and Just a Bit Touchy Antonov into third. So Harry Stamper, I'm sure the team are looking at bigger and better things there with him. And then Virginia Clovers, I'll go with, for Anna Donnelly. Got the Chockies beating Kai Valley, Amanda, Isra, Soliski and Lucid. Great little short names there, filling in the top placings. Rightio, Saturday night, we're not doing Melton because it was a complete pacing night on the Saturday night, the Smoking Up Sprint and the likes. But we did have the Classic Connection at Harasta Trotters Somerset Farms, and it was taken out by Sugar and Spice, was able to find the front for Chantel Turpin and Pete, who stand Classic Connection, beating Call Me Trouble and Zealous Spur. Jack Butler won't be talking to me because unfortunately she was on the naughty list. Again, he did say he was hoping to get her back into the draw. I'd say that might be put on the back burner as we go. And Just a Bit Nosy in third. And then at Menangle London to a brick got beat. Someone said there he galloped on my comments. It doesn't appear that he galloped, just says that he got inconvenienced there. Toro Stride, that was a horse that I actually highlighted. I'd seen it race a couple of times and had been low flying. It's run the week before. If you want to see a race that says back me all over it, you should have watched the race the week before. Beat Royal Glen Ferry as well. Elderbaron Test, good little field. That Love Gun don't seem to be handling Menangle track that well. What I've seen of him, didn't watch that race so I can't say that. And then you go to Sunday and there's a Cranbourne meeting, but there's no trot race. There's not a trot race at Cranbourne, which was very, very disappointing to see. So Kathy Mitchell is on. Hello to you, Kathy. David Miles, Tracy Mizzy. Hello to all you guys. Now, Charlton's been racing today. I haven't had a look at the results. Oh, yes, I did. Sunny Boy for Jack Sullivan by Majestic Sun. Good on you, Jack. Beating Spanamarali and Dynamic Diesel for Wally Newton, just up the road here. Jackie Barker. That's a pacing race. Top Hat Johnny's a pacing race. SK Hollywood by Creatine out of Anika for Cameron Maggs. Was terrific. The start before it, Charlton just got run down by Soliski. This week gets the Chockies beating Kapia and Master Combatant. Don't know if there was that went one too many for me. Don't think there was another trot race on the day. No, there wasn't, because it's a race I just showed. Globe Derby. Haven't looked at Globe Derby to see what the results were. There, Madam Kelly, Robbie Caton and Tina McMahon got the Chuggies. Nick Hooper bred that one. He'll be happy with that. Madam Kelly. That's a pace. Oh, Peak, Oliver Jack, beating Balmoral Hall and Greywood's Diamond, Mario Borg. I might get Mario on the show one day. Willis Graham, for Luke O'Neill, being Mangana Joe, he's over there now, and Kai Valley Surf Rider for Reggie Trevine. Of course, Reggie sorted out the stay-in tender they had just recently. Winsome Ruby beat Pies Riding Shotgun. Mention his name every week, Pies Riding Shotgun. He's a ripping little horse there. And that's it. Oh no. Eat, Drink and Race at Globe Derby. Interesting name for a race, but it's a 3-year-old by looks. Anyway, so that was Globe Derby. Pinjarra quite often have a trot, but they didn't this day. They just did that to get me going. And let's see if Newcastle, they're trying to get some up and going, but no, still no trot race there as well. I'll get into trouble from the Queensland boys if there was one on there, but there wasn't. So big night of racing. Of course, we got the Bill Collins Mile stepping up next week as well. So make sure you get involved in with that. Paul Foster, always appreciate your feedback, Paulie. Getting involved in the show. We've had a pretty big show as it is. I could keep going, but I won't. The only thing I will say, the rankings for the Inter-Dominion haven't changed. I was looking at them. I was going to highlight that. There's just been the one scratching, so they haven't been updated since end of September, and Star Down Under for Peter Lindbergh has been scratched. But the 29th of September was the last time that they've been updated, so I'm not sure when the next update comes in. Probably could go there, but it's 52 days, 16 hours, 9 minutes, 18 seconds at the time of me saying that until the Inter-Dominion. I'd actually like to question that times, because Paul Foster, look at you go. There's two races, you can't have them both starting at a certain time. But anyway, we'll leave that. That must be for the paces. Don't know. Right, Australian results. First race at Pinjarra. Oh, Rock and Roll Hanover is what I saw. Aldebaran Sun. Whoops. We'll go back to this one. Go back to that screen. Aldebaran Sundown beating Uptown Lad and Tennyson. Filled your top three, Nigel Johns as well. Haven't done New Zealand. If you're watching, keep watching. I'll go this way. Still got a few people. Don't be scared to get involved, especially if you want to highlight someone. Sweet Olivia for Andre Portimer. Went terrific, beating Noble Count and Veronov, as I said there, for Luck Chin. Before, that's a pacing race. Jasanova, as I said there before, beat True Story and Regal Girl, highlighted that race. And that Bernie Hackett didn't have a real good night this week. He's filled the last 4 spots there. All cashed up, unfortunately, gallops for him as well. A little bit later on, it's a pacing race. Lady of the Night's a pacing race. Old Town Road's a pacing race. Good race, so I'll tell you what, go on, you want to be a trot and harness lover, go and watch a lot of these races. Go Lee McKinnon, how's this? I'm on Auckland at the same time. Bolt for Brilliance beat Gazman, King's Landing, Wishing Star, all cashed up, ran 5th. He would have finished a lot closer. He would have fought the finish out. So yeah, so pretty good race to watch that race. And I know last race was a trot as well, with Lady Lani for Andre, trained and drove, bookended it. Zach Butch got a 4 for the night again, I think, and Emma Bay for the Abernathy's. Majestic Son, Father Patrick, and then 2 Majestic Sons, sorry, for the Brownlees, Emily Bay. So well done to those guys. Sorry, not on the results. Rightio, we'll go back. So we'll go back to the Thursday meeting, which was Addington. That doesn't want to load. Now it does. Celtic Arden, we showed you that one there by What the Hill. Beat Love You Mare in Natives Inferno, and Sunny Louise by Royal Aspirations out of Sunny Ever. You would suggest that Sunny Ever is a Sundon. So that'd be always worth just have a little bit of a look at its breeding at some stage, but not tonight. We'll go through some of these other Kiwi horses. Jimmy Carter beaten Tanaka. I can never get it out. Tangata, and Out of My Way. For Paul Nan, he had the 2. So by Prez out of Joanne, Waterloo Sunset, and Love You, Do It Your Way was the dam of that 3rd horse. Millwood Nike was just outstanding. I think there was one more trot. I could be wrong. No, there wasn't one more trot there. Southland, and we had the Southland Oaks, which we did highlight there before. Yosemite beating Torquay Street, Frosty Girl. Don't forget, if you're on YouTube or if you want to re-watch this later on, go and watch it on YouTube. Much easier to do that way. Drivers' Championships, that could have been a trot race. Nope, Rock and Roll Dance, one of them was. This one, Gift Card beating Dwindle Star and Al Poncino by Father Patrick, Muscle Mass, Bacardi Lindy. Walking on Sunshine, of course, is by Creatine out of Black Jackie. Love You, Royal Kenny, and What the Hell, Donegal Bettigrach for Cracker Ling. And the last race was a pacing race, I'm sure it was too. So that was those. Oh, that was where we just went, Southland. And then Methven yesterday. Didn't have a good look at these. I'm doing my New Zealand show tomorrow. I'll do a bit more homework for that. Cosmic Angel for Johnny Cox, beating Till the Sun Sets, and Trans-Tasman Bubble. Oh, of course, for the Rileys, Jeff Whittaker, Lukey Whittaker's dad. Master Glide, Majestic Sun, Elderbaron, Eagle gets another mention. David Miles, how was the appointment this week, Paulie? Get you in the stirrups, okay. Bolt for Brilliant's New Zealand record. Did not know that. David Miles, this is a trotting show. Tune in on Wednesday night, Smarty Pants. But going through there, trotting show's a lot more sedate, David, so behave yourself. There's one for you, Sailor Boy. That's a pacing race. That's another pacing race. This is a trotting race. Prince Tekka for Jared McRae, beating DD's Super Stewart and Take After Me. So Majestic Sun, Super Fast Stewart. Oh, Castleton DD. I was wondering where the DD came from. There we are. And Holmes Hanover. Holmes Hanover actually side a couple of trotters, that's for sure. There's no hassles there. He has done it, but I think that race in Queensland takes the cake this week, that is for sure. That's a not a trot. That's a pace, the Methven Cup. That's a pace. Galway Girl. This was a good trot actually. Galway Girl beat Euro Style, and the Bloss coming in 3rd. Galway Girl, of course, by Majestic Sun. He's a great week, Majestic Sun, beating Orlando Vici and the Prez. And that is all of the New Zealand races. So that is actually pretty much a wrap for the trotting show. It's an interesting to note that Maree ran 3rd as a trotter at Addington, then 4th as a pacer. Whoa. I'm going to have to get Paul Foster on. Go again. So Maree ran 3rd as a trotter at Addington. Right. Paulie, what race? Can we do a horse search? We'll just find it. We'll find it if we go through here. So it ran 3rd as a trotter at Addington. Okay, this is the easy part. We need the right race it was in at Methven, because that could take us a little while. Out of My Way for Paul Nan. Wow. So there you have it. Race 5, the Fuchs Investment Handicap Trot. Out of My Way runs 3rd. By Love You out of Do It Your Way for Paul Nan. That is race 5 on Thursday night at Addington. Sunday, I've now got to find this horse. Then 4th as a pacer on Sunday. So I've got to try and find this horse as a pacer. See how far it got beat. This is as good a story as there is. Just got to, there it is there. So in a 51-69, Blair Orange drove. I'm presuming it paced. Yep, race 7, Paulie. I gather it paced is the way you're explaining it. Then 4th as a pacer. Yeah. Out of My Way. So, I wonder what that looks like on its thing. Oh, sorry, I've got you on the wrong screen. Actually, I want to go to that. Sorry about that. I had my thing over a couple of it. So, just so you can see, this is a pacing race. Sorry, I didn't realise that. I was too busy trying to find it here. And go from there. Now, I've got Gayleen and Paul are both helping me out a little bit here. Oh, look at this. How cool is this? As a 5-year-old, it's had 2 starts as a pacer, 16 as a trotter. As a 4-year-old, it had 2 as a pacer and 5 as a trotter. Only had the 2/3. It's won 2 races this year. As a 3-year-old, it paced twice and it won both of those. And then as a 3-year-old, it had 15 starts for 4 wins on that occasion. So in 2021, it had 17 starts, 6 wins, and 2 of those as a pacer, and it won both of them. Wow, that's really cool. Thanks, Paul, for pointing that out. Had the hopples on. that makes it a bit easier. Thank you so much, Paul. I absolutely really appreciate that. There's one of those pacing races there, I reckon, because that says 55, so that'll be a pacing race. Oh no, they're trotters. No, so they're trotters. So I don't understand 100% of their handicapping. It won that one, so that's a trot anyway. But yeah, that record is pretty cool. That's something really good. Brittany Graham, hello to you, Britt. You're back from America. She was over there at Lexington. Don't know if she put her hand up. She was actually looking anyway. So with Nancy Tactor, hopefully get over there myself next year. All going well. Well, yeah, thank you. Talking Trotters, that tops the cake. That does, Paul Foster. I'm going to have to do a little bit more homework onto that one. But yeah, really, really cool. That is. Out of My Way races on the Thursday as a trotter and Sunday as a pacer. Is it down to race next week, Paul? It is. Yeah, right on cue. Back racing as a trotter on Friday night at Addington. Okay, so one thing we can do, the fields aren't done yet, but we can go to the nominations. You guys aren't watching what I was just doing then anyway, so it worked out. Okay, right. Won't be in that one there. Could be in this one here. No, there must be a couple of trots on it. Won't be in the Trotting Cup. Not in that race either. I must have missed it. He's back trotting at Addington this Friday, but they're 2-year-old paces, fast class trotters, which is just an amazing field. Oh yeah, Out of My Way. There he is there. Wow. That's pretty cool. Can't do that in Australia, that's for sure, because you have to qualify every time. But I suppose while he does things right, he's allowed to do it. So yeah, so there you have source. Here he is, Out of My Way for Paul Nunn. So trotter last Thursday, pacer Sunday, back to a trotter on the Thursday. Now I've heard of some stories of people putting hobbles on the fast class trotters to make them trot and want to trot, but yeah, that is something good. And make sure, tell you what, tune in over the ditch. We're going a bit later tomorrow, so I'm not sure exactly when we're going to do it, but we're going to highlight all of the races. But as a trotting show, all of this for a field: Muscle Mountain, Bolt for Brilliance, Majestic Sun, Oscar Bonavina, Midnight Dash, Time Up the Hill, Artie by the Hill, Love in the Port, the Row Cup winner, Resolve for Paul Nan, Mystic Max, Eurocash second the other day, and I Dream of Genie. It's a terrific field of horses. Look at the stake money. Those horses there in that field. The worst stake moneyed horse there is $103,000 for Eurocash. Oh, that's just amazing money here. Makes a lot of us Aussies very, very jealous, that is for sure. Rightio, that is a wrap for the What the Hill Trotting Show, Talking Trotters. Don't forget, if you want to buy a service fee to Australia, best way to do it right at the minute. Closes on Wednesday is the Horsham District Harness Racing Club. Have their stallion tender. Closes on Wednesday. Get in touch with Tony Logan on 0427 857 411 if you want to get involved with that. The VSTA raffle, $30 a ticket, 4 for $100. So make sure you get in that. You can win one of 5 service fees, 5 chances of winning. EL Titan, On a Street, Classic Connection, Used to Me, and Always Ready. So make sure you get onto those as well. Ben Zira, he'll actually be selling some of the tickets as well. And as I said, proudly brought to you by What the Hill, $7,700 here in Australia, or $7,000 plus GST in New Zealand. 12 wins, 8 placings, $1.3 million in stake money. Got a beautiful little colt out in the front paddock, out the side there too. So pretty excited about him. Thanks for joining me. As I said, Over the Ditch tomorrow night. Tune in, please. Matt Markham will be joining me again. He knows his stuff. And we have a bit of fun. We'll go through the highlights from last week, pacing and trotting. There'll be a bit of a double up. Plus, we'll highlight what's going to be a huge night of racing for the Kiwis coming up this week. Might even be able to get a few tips or two out of Matt. He knows a bit about his form. Going through it. And then on Loose Lines, David Miles, you are welcome to get involved in On Loose Lines and explain that a little bit further. Just a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek one that if you follow my social medias on Twitter, you'll realise I might have got a very random text message from a scammer. But yep, anyway, it was all a little bit of good. Exciting racing, great to see. Thank you very much to David Branch and Maree Conroy for both joining me. Thank you to everyone that's tuned in. Thanks to everyone that's contributed. Paul Foster, thank you so much for your contribution, mate. I might have to send you a message before I go on air just to get everything, so I don't look as underprepared as I do. Beck Morrissey, hello to you. Nice little third during the week as well. You've tuned in a couple of times. But yep, thank you very much for watching Talking Trotters for What the Hill. Please, if you want to get in touch with the team at Woodlands Stud, go to woodlandstud.co.nz for all your needs. Plus their full roster is there as well, with all the horses. Seaside, Sweetloo, they've had a huge week. All of those have as well. So thank you. See you next week for Talking Trotters. We'll be from Queensland. Not exactly sure exactly where I'll be, but I know I'll be in Queensland on the Monday night. So get involved in the show. 7 o'clock, which will be 6 o'clock when I'm in New Zealand, in there. And that means, don't know what that means, 9 o'clock for my New Zealand friends still, same time. All right, thank you very much.
Side, yes, Mickey, with less than a 16th to go. What the Hill, a short lead. Lindy the Great to the inside. Yes, Mickey, coming to the wire. It's What the Hill, and David Miller winning the
pocket sitter turned first over attacker What the Hill. And behind them, Dover Dan from in third. International Money still got work to do. They're in deep stretch, and here comes What the Hill. And Miller on the outside. What the Hill converting off the pocket trip to win the Canadian Trotting Classic. He won it by 3 going away. It's What the Hill.
Third, 3/4, 124 and 2 into the stretch. Looks like a Chippendale appears to be on the verge. Crazy Wild trying to fend him off. Room at the rail for What the Hill. He's raging late. And in heavy traffic is Pinkman on the far outside. Dayson trying to close in. But off the rail comes What the Hill, the 3-year-old. What the Hill to seal his division. What the Hill. Then Dayson. And then it was Pinkman third and Mambo Lindy fourth. What the Hill in 151 and 4 in the TVG.